Greetings, beloveds. So today we're going to go into a little bit of a tender space, and I want to just guide you there first. Today's Shakti Temple talk is about the ladder of longing, and this is a concept that I feel like my whole life is based around. My whole body of work is this longing that's in all of our hearts. And we all have this pain of separation from source. You know, we manifest in this reality that is of limitation, that just by being contained in a physical body, we are separate from others. We're seemingly separate from source. And so we all kind of had this like wounding of separation. And the beauty of that is that that's what draws us throughout life, right? And this is that ladder of longing, or this energy of desire for union. And so let's just see if we can locate that. Finding in that heart that longing, that yearning for the beloved, for our wholeness, for divine union. And we most often experience this in the human realm through sexual intimacy with a beloved, with a lover. This is when we have that direct experience, but inevitably that experience will end at some point, and we're back with just ourselves and that longing in the heart. And we're in a time where so many of us are so afraid to sit in silence, to sit in stillness, that we have all kinds of addictions, all kinds of distractions. This is the hole that social media is filling, the reason so many people have addiction to social media, to our phones, because we want to constantly feel connected. Like this was a genius plan by the establishment to create these social media platforms, blah, blah, blah. It's a blessing and a curse, because the connection there is real, and we can create relationships, and that opens doorways, and we can offer our work and our beauty into the world, and share our hearts and all of that. But it doesn't make up for this true longing of the very human heart. And I think the paradox here is that we are looking out here everywhere. Will you fulfill this longing? Will it be you? Is it here? Am I going to find it here today? Like, where am I going to find this? And in our very attempt to get away from that hole that we feel inside, we're going in the opposite direction we need to go to for the fulfillment of that hole, of that longing, of that sacred yearning. And it is, in fact, that sometimes annihilating feeling of longing, of just like, the beloved, I want that beloved. I want to feel that union. That feeling can be exquisitely painful. There's a reason we're like, But that's the only place we're actually gonna find it, is when we go straight into it. And that's why I call it the ladder of longing. And I've had this experience, I can't tell you, I still have this experience where I'll go into that. I'm like, where is it? Even with my very solid spiritual practice. And the hardest part is always just getting my little booty to sit down in that space and go into that place. But one thing I can guarantee is that every single time I do, I find the beloved. Every single time I go into that heart-wrenching longing, I also find its satiation in that same place. And that's why this talk's called the ladder of longing, because that energy, that desire, that longing is actually the bridge between the form and formless, between source and self, between those poles, those dancing polarities of masculine and feminine, of yin and yang, of Shiva and Shakti. that is the bridge that glues them together into that place of non-duality, where we don't have that pain of separation. And so we learn how to use this, and this is really the essence of like the tantric path and the Taoist path and like any of these spiritual paths, is that we found that ladder of longing, like sacred dance. If you go into like Persian mystical dance or Sufi whirling, it's like this is all about going into that place and using that longing and that yearning and that exquisite pain to throw a rope as a ladder up into the divine, to lasso the divine and bring it down and realize that it was here the whole time. Here all the time. And that heartbeat, my beautiful sister Schirin, she talks about the heartbeat like the beloved knocking from the inside of the chest, like, I'm here. Hi. Can you hear me? That's the beloved knocking, saying, I'm right here. I'm right here. Just come back here. I'm right here. And so through these paths, it's actually going into the longing that we find what we're looking for. Anytime we find it out here, it's going to be temporary. And just notice the next time you go down the rabbit hole of social media, how do you actually feel on the other side? More full or more empty? Maybe you got a message from that special someone and all of a sudden, but it's fleeting and it goes away. And usually on the other side of it going away, there's an equal proportionate feeling of emptiness. And so this is our calling to go in, to take that risk, to not run from the pain of that feeling, but to actually let it crack us open until we realize that the beloved has been knocking at the door of our chest this whole time. And they are there waiting to receive us. If we'll just let them, if we'll let that exquisite pain lead us back in to the stillness, to the silence, and ultimately to the beloved, to our direct experience of union with Source, with essence, with the beauty of existence. In this space, duality doesn't exist. So while we fall into the void of our own perceived emptiness, the paradox is that the well becomes full, overflowing in fact, with buckets and buckets of sustenance, of nourishment, of thirst quenching. And so we let ourselves go into the void to realize that we are full, that we are whole, that we are holy, that there was never, ever real separation. And that this knocking in the chest, this pain in the center of the heart or in the gut of separation is actually exactly that lifeline that brings us back there. And so I invite you to be brave, to go there, especially when you catch yourself in those conscious moments, when you catch yourself looking for it out here, to say, I was fooled again. The beloved fooled me again, because the beloved likes to play, right? Fooled again. Okay, let's go here. Oh, ouch. Oh, yes. Okay, right. Here I am. Love you all. May we all find that place again, because this right here is going to help the world. This culture of consumerism and mass media and all of this is to pull us out so that we are not full. Buy this, date this, get this, date this person, date 10 people, date more. And yet we feel more empty than ever before, less met than ever before, more like lonely than ever before, even though we're more connected. Why is that? Because we're going in the wrong direction. And when we're really fully here, and then we're also with another being who's there as well, we are sharing the water of our presence, of our true presence, without the masks, without the personas, without the contractions, but sharing ourselves in essence, in openness and vulnerability. And that is when we start to have the external connections that are actually deeply nourishing to our souls and that we're actually craving. But it takes bravery to go there. It takes bravery to sit in the silence of our own pain of separation, and even more so to sit in the silence of the pain of someone else's. But how beautiful is it when we do that? When we're really there for each other in that way, because this is a wound that we all share. And this is a journey that we all share. And that is also another uniting factor in this equation. So how can we share this absolute heartbreak? And also that joy of reunion, those moments we have when we share those with others, with our Sangha, with our community, with our beloveds, with our families. It's like, that's when those bonds, those knots tie, and those connections are made, and those webs are truly woven in pure strength. That's when we have those foundations that are nourishing. That's how we can commune with the plants, with the animals, with the earth, with the cosmos, with the stars. That's the essence of communion. So may we all find that place. May we all have the bravery to walk through the fires of that longing inward, where we are led to the well of true sustenance.